Hi there, it's Sarah Jane from Cards and a Cuppa, and I'm here with this final tutorial for you for my 12 weeks of crafty Christmas makes. Now, I'm thinking that you've probably made more or less all of your cards and possibly all of your little gift boxes and stuff as well. So I thought I would do an upcycling project using some of your leftover designer series paper, a bit of ribbon, some wooden snowflakes, all stuff that you've probably got in your stash from Christmas this year. Now the filling in this is loose, so that's why I'm having to hold it a bit carefully, but I've used the song sheet paper from the Home for Christmas designer series paper stack, the Wonderland trees, some burlap ribbon and some lace and some gold sequins, and then finished it off with some wooden snowflakes. I've just knocked that one off there. That's okay. I'll glue that first and show you that if you do knock these and break them, you can fix them. So you need a little bit of crystal effects, and just add a little dab onto your broken bit. Pop it back on your snowflake. I don't know if you can see this. Make sure it's the right way round. You'll fit in one way perfectly. And if you only use a really tiny dab, you shouldn't have any spill, and it'll dry quite quickly as well. So just leave that to dry. It should be dry in about 10-15 minutes, and that's how you fix your wooden snowflakes. So let me share with you a few little tips that I found whilst I was making these. So I've popped in these artificial trees, the sort that even I can't kill. I'm not very good with plants, to be honest, but you know, these came from TK Maxx, but you can get them pretty much anywhere, these sort of things. You know, what would look quite nice would be the succulents, the fake succulents, or even real ones. But you know, you can experiment in with whatever you want in your pots. Of course, you could always put in some of your pine cones that you made from last week's video tutorial. Remember I shared with you this and said that it would work really well with this week's tutorial. Imagine them all sat around the edge of your tin. They'd look lovely. Anyway, let me share with you how I decorated the tin, and a few of the tips that I've discovered along the way. So first of all, what you're going to need is 3 different size tins. I've already done one. This is a standard baked bean tin, and then just for size reference, this one's sweet corn, and this one's like a small baked bean tin. So they're all different heights. That's what I'm looking for. So these two still need decorating, and I found the main thing really is that when you're choosing your tins is to buy the one with the ring pull that you don't need the can opener on, and that way the edges they're still a bit sharp, but they're not dangerously sharp like they would be if you used a can opener. So that's your first tip, is definitely buy ones with ring pulls. Now my second tip is when you cut your paper, you see I've cut this one here, and you can still see the silver bit at the bottom, but you see this bit here, it goes in, and if you can see that, and if you cut your paper longer than this length, so that is 7.4 centimetres. Obviously they'll all be different for your cans, this one the same, but if you cut it longer than where it starts to go back in, your paper will all bend and buckle around the bottom, so you need it so it sits flat. So let me cover this tin. This one doesn't go in at the bottom, the same as this, so I'm just going to cut the paper the length of the tin inside the lips, and that's 5.5 centimetres. So I'm going to take my trimmer and my paper and just cut a 5.5 centimetre strip. I'll just check, make sure that fits okay. Yeah, that's lovely. Okay, now just need a little pencil, and all I did was fold it round and mark maybe 1 centimetre, ½ an inch past the overlap, and trim. Okay, now I'm going to stamp my paper using the Wonderland stamp set, which is now on offer. This I think is the best stamp set, or my most used stamp set out of this catalogue. I've loved this one. And so I'm going to just stamp using early espresso ink. I'm only going to need to ink the top half, I think. And then what I did was stamp along without re-inking, varying my heights as well. And then it keeps it in a nice neutral colourway. Perfect for what will go on my Christmas table. What I'm going to say, Christmas Eve is coming. So that's all the stamping done. Now you can see I've already added a bit of red line tape to either end of this piece of paper, so I'm just going to do the same on the smaller one. Now are you dear old man, whisper what you bring to me, tell me if you do you like my lights, by the way? I put these out today for my final video just to add a bit of festive cheer. I bought these only recently to go across my Christmas Day table, but they are absolutely covered in glitter. There's that much glitter all over the side in here. I don't know if you can tell, but we're swimming in it here. Okay, so one thing you have got to be careful of, obviously, is where you've stamped, you've got to make sure your trees are the right way up and that your writing is also the right way up. So be careful when you stick your first bit. Now I put these through the dishwasher to get any sort of residue off them. The glue is still a bit tacky, so what I tried to do was start my paper somewhere away from the glue and then use the glue to my advantage, just to hold down the paper in another part. It doesn't matter if there's no glue on there, it's just that you might as well use what you've got to work with. So, and then just follow it round, and then when you get near the end, then take your other end of your tape off. That way it won't accidentally stick to your grid paper or another part of the paper that you don't want it to stick to. And it's as simple as that. So I'll just do the other one. When the clock is striking 12, when I'm fast asleep, down the chimney broad and black, with your pack you'll creep. And that's both tins covered. So now it's time to decorate. So I've got some gold sequins. I think I might put them around the top of this one. And then I've got burlap ribbon. That I think might just go around the bottom of this one. And then I might top that with a bit of lace like that. What do you think? And then just, I think I'll stick with sequins on that one. On this one I've done all three around the centre because it's the largest can. So at the end of the video I'll make sure I put a picture of all three of these together on my table so that you can see the end result. All the stockings you will find hanging in a row. Mine will be the shortest one. You'll be sure to know. cut at the end, rather than just cutting straight so that you cut the sequins, just slide your scissors in and underneath so that you still have whole sequins at the end. And that's the last little tin. So I'm going to decorate it now with a few of these wooden snowflakes. Again, I'm just using hot glue to attach them, and not too much of it either. I've got my silicone mat to the side of this table that you can't see, just so that my hot glue gun doesn't drip onto the table. So that's a great little addition to anyone's craft stash if you haven't got one. It's also good for securing the end of your sequins when you're using crystal effects or something, when you don't want the glue to stick to your work surface. Last but not least, I've got a few enamel dots just to splash around. So I'm going to stick with the cream colourway. I'm not going to add any more colour to this. Just like mine will be the shortest one. Now notice how, rather than trying to get the tweezers or a pair of scissors underneath these, I find that that leaves the sticky on and you separate the enamel. So if you bend the plastic behind, they just pop off really easily and you don't end up spoiling any. Packets of these dots this year. You'd have to check on my Stampin' Up website and see what's still left in the sale, but these have been lovely this Christmas. I mean, obviously they're Christmas colours all together, but separate they could be used for anything. So that's the two tins covered. So I'll go back to with the original. Now in mine I've used crushed walnut shells. These are just some I had for sewing actually, because I was going to make some pin cushions, but you could use fine grit. Probably the cheapest place to buy them would be an aquarium centre, but you could try a garden centre as well. Anything with small stones. So my three trees are all the same height, but obviously my cans aren't, so I want my trees to be all different heights, the same as my tins. So for this one I'm just going to pop it in flat because it's the smallest one, and top it up with the shells. And then this one, I've just put some shells in the bottom and measured the height. I think that needs a few more because it's nearly the same height as that. It needs a bit more in the bottom of there. Yep, that's lovely. And then I'll just top that up with shells. Susie wants a sled. Nellie wants a storybook, one she hasn't read. Now I think I'll leave to you what to give her. I mean, obviously if someone's got a nut allergy, it's probably not a good idea to use walnut shells. So do check before you invite people round and make sure that no one's got a nut allergy. But there we have a trio of upcycled table centerpieces. So I hope you've enjoyed today's video tutorial, and don't forget to check out all the other 12 weeks of Christmas videos. I've really enjoyed making all the projects on this series, and I hope you have too. So thanks ever so much for looking today, and Merry Christmas. What you